Hello and welcome to the Shower Productions Anime Podcast. This is Matt.
I'm Tanner.
Ramiro.
Brandon. Carlos.
From way on the other side of the universe.
Sorry, I got a Charlie horse.
He's hurt, so give him some slack. Hi, how's everyone doing?
I'm doing good. I'm not
good.
cramping.
Besides Carlos's injury over there.
I got a
I'm
Charlie
good.
horse.
Doing well.
Doing well.
And he doesn't want us to touch it, so he's on his own.
We don't have the gel to touch it with anyway.
Spit.
No, we have to use that
All
good
right, all right.
homeopathic gel.
Are we gonna be like a Karate Kid? The guy go
I ain't.
No.
when he rubs his two hands and
There's
touches
no
it, he's all
way I'm-
fixed.
Clear!
I'm not gonna let you guys touch
Tell
my
me.
leg.
Anyway, we're here with another anime review. Ooh. And this time we're reviewing Gunbuster.
Came out in 1988.
Well, don't you steal my thunder, you bastard.
I just wanted to say the year.
Ramiro's got the
Oh,
facts.
I got more than you.
I just wanted the year.
It's a fact.
Okay,
Oh,
so
fact
I
contest.
thought from now on when we review an anime that I do a bit of facts about it and facts about the world in general at the time when it came out.
It was the 80s.
It was.
Tell
You
us,
gotta steal this thunder.
tell us the facts.
I will. So for those who don't know, Gunbuster was by Studio Gainax and was directed by and primarily created by Hideki Anno, who's best known for Evangelion. We mentioned this before, how Gunbuster was essentially, the grandparent of Evangelion. So those are the first two things. It was released in 3 volumes of VHSs as an OVA in Japan. The first one was released October 7th, 1988, with the last one being released July 7th, 1989. And so just facts about that time. The number one song when Gunbuster, the first volume, came out was Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bobby McFerrin.
Never heard of it.
Oh.
Well, just for you, I got an extra one because the day that they came out was like a day after the Gunbuster first volume came out. So I was like, I'll do both songs. So the one the next week was Love Bites by Def Leppard.
Who's that band? I'm just kidding.
I know, right?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, God. The number one highest grossing movie in the world that week that the first volume of Gunbuster came out was Alien Nation.
What's that?
It is a movie about aliens.
And the nation.
I've never heard
No,
of
it's
they're
a basic kind of story where it's like aliens come to Earth and they're trying to integrate into society, and one of them becomes a detective and is partnered with a human detective and they have to get along.
Sounds like that Will Smith movie that came on Netflix.
I know, right?
Hollywood's running out of ideas.
And the number one highest grossing movie of 1988 worldwide in general was Rain Man.
it.
Oh.
I think I've heard of that one.
Yes.
Never heard of it.
How cultured.
Oh,
And another thing that I would want to do from now on when we review animes is to show what other animes are coming out around that time. Now, as I mentioned, Gunbuster was an OVA. So these are all OVAs that came out that year or around that time. So you can imagine, you're in Japan back in 88 and you'd see Gunbuster and these next to it on the shelves. So we got Legends of Galactic Heroes, also came out around that time. Vampire Princess Miyu, which I've heard of but have never actually seen or read or done anything like that. And then Demon City Shinjuku
I thought you were going to say Demon Slayer. I was like, what the fuck?
also came out around that time. And yeah, those are some facts about when it first came out in 88. It was on VHS, 2 episodes per, so it was 3 VHSs.
You mean they didn't
Wow.
air it?
No, that's what an OVA is.
Ooh.
In case you didn't know. OVA stands for Original Video Animation, which they still call it even though it's not really on video anymore. And it's just for when an anime never went to theaters and it never aired on TV at all. It was produced solely as something you buy at a store. OVAs, they still have them these days. Most of the time they're attached to a series in some way. Like they'll bundle it with a light novel volume or a manga volume and you buy it like that. It's pretty rare for any anime to come out slowly as an OVA. There's also ONAs, which is original net animation, but that's kind of taken on a new meaning because technically anything like Netflix or Hulu does is an original net animation because it never aired.
So then my question is,
Yes.
did it sell good during when it came out?
I think it did fairly well. I'd have to look into it a bit more, but
Okay.
it's still remained in our conscious, but part of me wonders, like, was it because it got successful then, or because Evangelion got successful, so everyone looked back?
That's true.
So yeah, that's my
Because Ava was a successor to that.
yes.
Yeah. It definitely gave off a lot of vibes of that.
Oh yeah,
A lot of vibes of that.
in the
I was kind of sad that the music wasn't the same. I almost.
but you could there
You
were
could
parts
see the
where
direction,
you could hear it.
man.
I
You could
can
hear
see
like
it.
when it does the drums and they're all having the scenes of like breaking down, like torpedoes away and all that.
Mhm.
Like very much
It
reminded me of
feels
Ava and
so-
the Godzilla movie that Anno did. So
You did a Godzilla.
yeah,
Yep.
Where's Top Gun fit in all this?
Who?
Top Gun.
Oh.
So,
Yes.
Gunbuster was loosely based off the movie Top Gun. That's why it's called Gunbuster, because Top Gun.
Explains a lot why Coach's design.
Yeah, he kind of looks like he would fit right in.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, you're right. I just realized it.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
And it's,
That's
and
like,
it's,
"Ah,
and it's
he's
about
style."
rival
Okay,
pilots
dude.
trying to best each other. That
Yeah.
I mean, very subtle.
But no volleyball scene.
Well, we got more than that.
Yeah, I know we
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
But yeah, those are like my basic facts to kind of get you in the mindset of what the world was like when Gunbuster was first released. So I guess
Okay.
right now we'll start kind of a basic discussion about it, not too spoilerly. We will say when we are going into super spoils territory.
Super
Okay.
swells.
So does anyone want to start?
I want to say one thing. When you guys watched Gunbusters, did you get like the glimpse of which character ended up becoming who in Evangelion? Like who represents who?
Wait, what? I didn't even think about that.
Not
really.
necessarily like character to character, like
Not
directly
like character to
linked,
character, but
but like I could see like similar themes.
yes.
Especially in one where it's like Noriko is, well, we'll get more into it, but
Yeah.
Noriko is a child, and I don't know why they got her and Amano to do this when they're children. And I realize they go to a school that's training them to do this, but why wouldn't they wait till they graduate? So that kind of went over my head, but she's very much Shinji in the sense of they throw everything onto her,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
she's just this kid, and she has breakdown. Not nearly as bad as Shinji, of course, but like
Yeah.
that's really where character wise it reminded me a lot of Evangelion. Other than like just the mecha mashing and like
Oh no, that Russian girl, man. She reminded me a little bit of what's that girl's name?
Oscar.
Yeah, like at the beginning, but then like after well, I'll get more, but like after like the first encounter, she was
She's
a whole different character to me.
Well, she went back and forth.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
nice and like
So instead of
woo!
being German, she was Soviet.
Yeah.
So
And it's funny that like it's the Soviets. They're alive in the future, or they're
Doesn't
still
it
a thing
take
in the
place
future
Yeah.
because it's 1988 and 89.
Doesn't it take place in like 2015?
2015? Yeah,
It's funny.
which is the same. I want to say the same year Evangelion takes place.
Yeah, like 2015.
Yeah, around there, maybe 2014.
So the creatures involved to angels. Just kidding.
maybe they're not
Yeah.
connected.
I think it's
I
just
know.
they
I-
came from space.
Yeah, but like
Space.
that's
Doesn't
one
really
thing I
matter
don't
what
like
they are.
when you compare animes compared to their other series.
Yeah,
I like just saying it like its own thing and their own thing.
Hmm.
Because if you compare it to like other things, it's just like it makes it like, well, it's from the same studio, but they didn't have the same character development as those other anime they did.
Well,
Yeah,
they
you
probably
can't
had
really-
funding.
I already like.
you'll just run into walls.
yeah,
like you
and
can't
I feel
do
like it kind of
well.
ruins it for some people. For me, it ruins it. That's why I like comparing it on their own.
Yeah, there is a problem of like any media in general of when you watch it, you're dissecting it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into episode 1.
We're gonna
Well-
do overalls first.
We'll get there. Don't worry.
We're,
Calm down.
We're ready. We just
I guess I'll go a bit more like overall feeling.
Okay.
um,
Overall feeling.
Let me look at my notes.
We're supposed to take
Overall,
notes.
You're not supposed to, but I
I'll
do.
give it a knee slapper.
One thing I'll say that everything was too quick to develop, but I
Mhm.
understand the reasoning because it's like you got 6 episodes to work with.
Yeah,
Like I kind of feel like maybe they should do a reboot, like a full 24 episodes where it's the same story but they expand upon it.
Ooh.
yeah, because it was like so much like
It's all packed together.
Yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
but here's something before you continue. Who actually watched the science parts?
Which parts were those?
at the very end.
They're
There
at
was
the
little
very
chibi
end, but
clips.
they're
Little chibi
separate
clips.
episodes.
It's actually where we
missed them.
watched it, it was separated.
Oh.
It's like its own
You
thing.
had to go look at it. And click
I didn't because I didn't feel like I was too lost on what they were trying to say.
What'd you
um,
say? Tell us.
I
Well,
watched the
he'll get
science
there.
stuff, but I'll tell you, it helped me understand it a lot more than if I didn't.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I probably wouldn't know what the heck was going
No,
on.
I kind of understood. without it.
I mean, I'm sure
it gives more specifics.
It gives more
and I like
specifics.
the specifics.
You can give those to us when we get there.
Yes.
Carlos,
Carlos, you watched the specifics too, right? The science parts.
No, I didn't. I ended up.
you're
Am
all
I the
alone.
only one?
Yes.
Yeah, you're the
So-
nerd.
Oh my gosh! I thought that was like because it's supposed to be tacked on to the end of the episode, right? Like before the to be continued.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be there, but I guess it's only 2 minutes each.
Yeah.
They only have 2 minutes each. They're little cute things, but they're explaining more of the science of it. And it should have just been on the episode. I don't know why they were even separated to begin with.
Because I mean that's kind of like the loop for people from what they watch. It's like if you sit there and just explain what's going on,
But
why-
but
you gotta understand,
it's-
like they're not all people. Like people are not all like you, man. They're not gonna be like.
I'm telling you, it's not just jargon.
I understand that, but you gotta understand people are just like, oh, this is cool, this is going on, and then like they don't question. Like I didn't question like, oh, 6 months have gone by. I don't know. I don't care what happened. I kind of had a feeling this was gonna happen, because like I watched science fictions and stuff like that.
Well, yeah,
Like,
I mean, you don't have to have the info to explain it. I just think it just grounds it more in.
I want things
Human
to be,
understanding.
like you said, grounded, because otherwise they're just pulling stuff.
Yes,
And
then you can just
they're
do whatever you
setting
want.
it up however they want.
It separates the science from the fiction for me.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
gotta
think.
understand, like you gotta understand that some people are like
I know.
people. If you just cut away and just explain it, people will be like, oh,
That's
like,
why it's at the end of the episode,
Yeah.
but it's not tacked on like I thought.
And when it
would
was
be.
originally released, it's it's a VHS that you either bought or rented, so you don't even have to watch that. You can
Yeah.
fast forward it.
yeah.
So it's not like if it was like airing like a broadcast and you had to sit through it, then I can understand it being kind of unnecessary. But it's almost like original like special features on DVD.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea it existed until
Well,
now. So
yeah.
I thought that
It's
was
alright,
part of the
Brandon.
experience.
We'll go
I thought
back and
that's
watch
what
it for you.
happened. But-
More on basic thoughts. I get why it's kind of heralded as like a big not big but like a cherished mecha anime. And because of that, I mean, it looks good for its time, and it's just lots of things happening. That sounds so intuitive. Lots
No.
of things happened in this
No,
show.
it's a big deal. I think.
Yeah, like
I don't know much more to say about my basic feelings about it until we get to more details.
I'll tell you
So
what,
it's all
that's
months
like-
ago.
That's like the first anime I ever watched that came out in the 80s, man.
Dragon Ball, haven't you seen that?
I don't care. That doesn't count.
That counts.
No, but like I mean, like that's not mainstream. Like not a lot of people know about it.
That's okay. Yes, it's
Yeah.
not mainstream as far as I'm aware.
Like I haven't.
I
seen
mean, there are layers of like mainstreaminess, and it's
They
definitely
didn't
not,
play
like,
it on
top
Toonami.
of it. Yeah,
it's not. It's not like well known. Like I mean, it doesn't have a dub.
Hmm.
It doesn't have like. If it
Mhm.
probably did, it'd probably be trash.
It doesn't. It's never been
I
done.
don't know about that.
I mean, have you seen the anime back then?
Yeah, but
I think it would be just the equivalent of
it could be
80s, because
funny,
like
though.
sometimes the acting in the sub for Gunbuster got a bit hammy.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Especially
gee.
we'll get to that later, but.
Oh.
Yamate.
God, I love how y'all like that part, but I'm like stuck
Well,
on
it was-
Kochi.
okay.
It was repeated through
For
the
that-
whole series.
For that specific part, it was just a kind of a weird thing because I don't know, like something with the animation and how intense she was into it, but like it's hard to describe. Like her face, like nothing moves except her mouth, but yet she's screaming.
Yeah, and like it was
So
really. And what's funny?
So I feel like they were like being a bit cheap on the animation because it's like
Yes.
because like imagine like a mime like is perfectly still, but they scream like they're supposed to inflect hugely.
And plus, and like, and the
I
first.
wanna see
And
that.
then before she said that, like the first two reactions were just like, "Oh no, oh no,"
Okay.
and then all of a sudden, you get Yamate.
But I mean,
Uh,
we can't pick on it too much because that was
You're right.
It was the style.
It was
the
the
animation
80s.
was limited. I think it was like either their first animation ever or very first. Like I think
And
they
plus
did like
mine-
some
For that,
student
even-
films.
And mind you,
And I
this
know
is-
it was Ano's
this is-
first ever director thing. So
and mind you, this is the '80s.
Wait, so
and
Anno
Coke was
directed it?
around.
yeah, he directed it. He
directed Coke?
storyboard. He did. I think he. I don't know if he wrote it. I don't think
That's
he wrote
cool. I didn't know that. That makes
Yes.
it better.
That's why it's like Evangelion's grandpa.
It's the better.
Because like
Ava.
like the character designers and like the music, I think, and of course the animation, like everyone who worked on Gunbusters basically worked on Evangelion.
So Shirosagi did the music for
I don't know if he did. But
Gunbuster.
I know
I gotta look into that now.
You'd have to, so don't quote me on that. I
Right.
know a lot of people.
It'd just be interesting if it was.
Yeah.
Because that might have been his first start too.
Well,
But there were like several musical cues where it's very similar, like especially when you
felt
get to the
it.
drums.
Yeah.
now my question is, Brandon, what do you think about it?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't heard you
please
say
tell
anything.
Yeah, so when I went into it, everyone kept telling me that it's like the grandparent to Evangelion, so I kind of compared it to. I know you mentioned earlier that you try not to, and I honestly agree with that statement, but my mindset was just comparing them to, and I like Gunbuster more than Evangelion, just because Evangelion was kind of
monster.
like more boring to me.
Why is no? We'll there.
But-
Go into a different
Gunbuster just like it was more fast paced, obviously because they had 6 episodes. Like it wasn't just I don't know. It
It's
just
probably
felt
because,
more
like-
interesting to me than Evangelion. Evangelion just never like it was enjoyable to watch, and I think everyone should watch Evangelion and Gunbuster. But like I don't know. Evangelion just never like struck me as like a great anime.
I think you would like the new movie one,
The rebuilds.
the rebuilds.
Oh,
You might, but that's a different subject.
Yeah, but
yeah, I liked it. I liked the fight scenes.
we're doing.
I thought it was kind of weird that it's like our main threat is the aliens, and yet like we're gonna go fight off in space and waste fuel for these mechs or whatever powers these mechs, and it's like you're gonna damage your mechs while there's aliens that are the main problem.
That's something that I didn't quite get. Is like, are the like regular mechs they use particularly effective? Because I kind of feel like they're not.
Yeah.
Can't see.
Yeah, so what I was gonna say is like I want to know more. I didn't really get to know more about the anime. Like
Well,
all I knew was that they wanted the sun so they can like lay eggs and like
'Cause they lay eggs
breed
and
more and faster.
well, I don't mind like because I thought of that too when it's like you don't see them too much and they like you said
Because,
they
like-
don't have a name or
yeah.
the space creatures or space
Because, like-
monsters. But like it's almost like the evil idea of the shadow. It's like they don't what they were going for. They didn't need them to have too much personality or thought. There didn't have to be an adversary. It's just almost like a force of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to be careful though because we're getting in.
Yeah. Sorry, I
think
kind of
we've
got
already
into
kind of
like
spoiler territory.
spoiler
Okay.
territory.
Yeah,
My bad.
Okay, well, let's just say now we're probably gonna
We're
get
probably going to
into
get more spoilers.
Yep.
It's hard.
We're laying it
It's
down.
very hard to review anything.
It's just 'cause
well
it's 6
without
episodes.
spoilers.
It's because 6 episodes that is really spoilery.
But I'll say back to your point there is at least compared to Evangelion, I kind of feel like in some ways things they did in Gunbuster they got better in Evangelion because I think you mentioned like they do like with these mechs they just do stupid things
Mm-hmm.
and they just go out of the way and it's like there's never an idea like a power source for them or how they work.
Yeah.
In Evangelion, they really gave you the weight of it's a production to get these
Yeah.
things to move,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
they have limits, and it made you know their limits.
Yeah, it just made me laugh.
And in Gunbuster, they can just kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And again, spoilers, but I have to finish this thought of when they do the first they do Gunbuster for the first time. She's like, "I only got 10 minutes left." It was like the first time like they had a consequence like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Well, how all the others like they have to be on like some kind of timer?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the ultimate like
Fuck you.
no, it's the undertaking to get all those ships and to do all these things is just massive. I don't think they illustrated that very well.
No, the
Again,
thing
they were hard for time.
Yeah.
The thing I thought was funny was like when they had that, I was like, why would you have an incomplete weapon here if it's not even been tested or anything on this ship?
Just in
And yet you let
Oh,
this
yeah.
schoolgirl you let this girl just take it out.
Well, we'll get more to that when we get Pacific episodes.
But,
Yeah.
there was something too. I was laughing because like I was just laughing too because like I was expecting like kind of like a little not that much mechs to be there. I just thought it was gonna be like at least like 5 special mechs or something like that.
Space battle.
Because before so they said, but I was expecting a whole school of them learning mech, how to control a mech, and they're
Yeah.
each.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's do push-ups.
They were doing
That's all
push-ups
I
in the
trained.
mech.
Well, I get they're
Just to get used to
they're
it.
Yeah,
training
I get it.
themselves to
It's just-
make them move how they want.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not like they're building the muscles on the mech.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
it just
thought
seems so silly.
I just thought it was funny. I was
Yeah.
not expecting that. And like she was the worst of the worst of the mech suits.
Yeah.
Hey, explained in episode 1.
I know.
We're going to.
We'll
Carlos,
get there. Don't worry.
What do you think overall?
Well, now that the fact that it was related to Top Gun, now I can see is Tom Cruise doing push-ups with his jet.
Am I doing it?
No, seeing it for the second time, I am gonna stand by this statement that Coach is best girl.
Coach.
Is best girl.
Coach.
Coach.
I don't know. I thought I was gonna have like a different opinion after seeing it again, but I'm still like in the same opinion and questions. But I can't go into those until we start
Yeah.
breaking
Okay.
them down.
All right.
But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the experience again, even though I told myself I was gonna watch those 2-minute clips the next time I'd watch it, but I still didn't.
I didn't know they existed.
And I wish, because that would have explained a lot of how this whole thing worked.
See, the thing is, though, I'm gonna quote you here. I mean, not really. I'm gonna pseudo quote you. You were the one who was saying that the show actually explained the science more, and you didn't even watch the science parts.
No, I said
If I
that,
remember right.
No, that when me and Gutter and I watched it, we didn't know that it was that we didn't know those were in there until later after we saw them.
Okay.
It's like it would have gone into deeper more. I was like,
that actually interested me into the show when you said that.
yeah.
And
I
then
wish...
that's part of the reason I watched the science parts, because it was like, man, they watched this and they understood the show better. I should do it too.
the way we watched it, they didn't have those. And it
Okay.
wasn't until like after later when we started watching Evangelion that one of them looked up and apparently there was more to it and we didn't know.
Oh.
I happened upon it because they both were like where I was
Yeah.
watching it. They just had it on side by side, and I was like, okay, wait, is it this one? And I clicked on it on accident. It was like 2 minutes, like I said,
Ah,
2-minute clip, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Again, I should have watched it again, but now I feel like kind of bad because now Tana's the only one who's seen it now.
I'll explain it. I'll
Don't
explain
worry.
more of it.
Will I ever explain my
Yeah,
own?
it's
It's
you.
true. Is
It's
it me?
down
Oh,
to you. Yeah.
it's me. Okay, it's definitely a better Ava. I'm gonna say it. I know that's hard because it's like,
Flip the tables,
but they're
people.
different series. They're absolutely different series.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see where the parallels are. But I really liked how more grounded that series was. You were mentioning how they were able to just do it. I just figured, well, if they're able to travel through space, then they probably have their crap together that can do massive. You know, they already know who the enemy is. They already know all this stuff. We're kind of in, not at the beginning stage where I think Ava was kind of in the beginning stages of it. Like, we're not quite there yet, humanity-wise. Like, we're not smart yet. But in Gunbuster, they were very smart.
I know what you mean.
And as it progressed through the series, they got even smarter.
Yeah.
Well, it's like with the advance of technology, it's like once humanity is able to do space travel and light speed, like that technology, like everything else will already be so caught up with everything else. Like counter to that is that
Or
it's,
apes.
no,
We'll get to that.
It's probably just a thing of the times. I to make it more grounded, but like
I agree.
not too much spoilers. Like there's a part when they're on a train and the girl's like going down the aisle with like the trolley to like sell them sweets and stuff, and she also offers them phone cards.
Oh, so you're saying
So I'm
that
saying, like, if we can go at the speed of light, and we can have all these mechs, but we need phone cards. We don't have universal just technology where that we have today, where I can get a cell phone and call anyone on the planet.
But cell
Good
phones weren't
point.
invented yet at that time.
I know that, but if
maybe
you're saying,
they were
if your
investing all their
argument,
stuff
all
into
we
the
had were-
military, though.
I was just about to say that too.
well, communication is the military.
But that's just for the military, not for
Yeah.
the
But
common man.
maybe like
everyone
the
would
whole
have it.
the
It
whole
would be
world is focusing on like
It would
well,
be
there's
an
a-
advantage
yeah.
for everyone.
I agree with you, but I disagree with you because it's just like
I don't know,
they're-
it's just kind of like a
they don't even know where it's gonna
continuity
Yeah.
error.
I don't know. I kind of just took it at face value because it's like, well, y'all
Well, I
can do this.
dig in there and I find those bodies.
Yeah. I could
No,
definitely
it's
see
just
like, both
I don't know.
I get it.
Like if their technology was as advanced as that, then a lot of things would be different.
yeah.
I got quite. Now I'm going to ask you a question, but it's more spoilers. I'll tell you when.
Well, I guess go ahead. Have you
Oh,
said
but
your
yeah, I
kind
was
of
like-
piece?
Pretty much, I loved it. It was a
Okay.
good show. I enjoyed the music, enjoyed the art. I even enjoyed the fact that it's just so much to this that like the more you watch it and you realize what's going on, it's like, oh, and it does it in 6 episodes too. I like the pacing.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. Like I thought it would just be rushed and crazy. Like, you know, some of the down to earth parts were kind of rushed and crazy, but like the overall story was told in 6 episodes just fine.
Yeah.
I thought that wrapped it up in a nice little bow, and it was just a nice little present.
What are you gonna say, Romero?
Okay, spoiler territory, man.
All right,
Okay,
here we go.
so
Spoilers.
official spoiler territory from here on out. Even though we spoiled it a bit, like this is super duper. Like if you don't want to be spoiled for Gunbuster, then stop
Leave,
listening.
run.
That was because I was all you were talking about technology, and I was all like, then how come they can't make Coach into like
That's
super-
true.
Dude,
That
that
is
would
true.
be interesting.
And that
It's
would
just
be
like,
military applications.
Yeah,
Insert me into the mech.
why is
Insert
he,
me.
why is he crippled?
Just give him
why is he
another leg
coughing up blood?
or fix his spine.
Yeah.
Like if we can, like again, if we can travel light speed, like that's ultimate technology. Like for us in our lifetime, we're never gonna see it, and the only way humanity's ever gonna get anywhere in the universe is to be able to travel like that. Because at the end of the way, it would take centuries. Like we could send a probe right now to like the nearest planet that might have life on it, that's Earth-like, and we wouldn't know it got there for centuries because it's that far away.
right, but I think once again they're investing a lot into the military and not necessarily how to cure people and help people.
But
How much military applications are there to cyborgs? That would be the first thing they would go into. Imagine, oh well, they don't need like. Imagine if they had the mechs, but then they were like, oh well, we don't actually have to have them breathe or eat because it could just be a head with a cybernetic body.
or remotely controlled.
Yes.
Or it could be that they it's like this impending threat that may wipe them out completely, so it's like they want to just focus on if we can solve the impending threat, then cool. But right now it might be a waste to invest into
But like in the
cyborg
beginning,
technology.
it says that her father's first encounter was like humanity's first encounter with them, and they already had the light speed travel at that point.
That's fair. I didn't
So her
think about
dad was the first one to meet those people.
That's what it said in one of the episodes.
I guess I can't hate reading sub
guess
too
I
because
missed
I
that.
forget shit.
I missed that detail. I
But
guess.
well, because she said the war that started with you is ending now.
Oh, but then again, well,
Papa.
okay.
Maybe they knew
I can
they
see
already-
why this is confusing now because it's like, what happened to him happened like tons of years past on Earth. What happened to him where he was, or at least like a year or two. Something like that.
There's lots of
crazy
time travel-y
Ooh,
goodness.
but it's nice.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll do like more of a solid breakdown of episodes. So episode 1 would.
Episode 1.
Okay, I know
Everybody.
Tanner here has detailed notes about episodes specifically. So
I'm
let's
just
let
gonna
him
just
start.
get through the notes.
And then we'll bury all his ideas.
So we got the big bosomed cute girl already, just boom right
What's
there
her
on
name?
the Noriko.
There you go.
She's
No,
just like, yeah, I like her more than
Mm-hmm.
Shinji.
I agree.
I
with that.
really like her.
I like her more than Shinji.
Of course, Gucci.
Yeah.
And then why the heck would they give hormonal teenage girls fully functional death machines?
Exactly.
And
It's
then
like I was saying earlier, it makes no sense
Are you
that they
being
have
sexist here,
put
bro?
these high school
No.
girls or high school anyone, legally children,
Yeah.
and that they're in the military.
Yeah. Was her school like all girls, right?
Yeah,
It-
but,
because
but they're
they
also
made it seem there was
Just
a
dude,
whole
I know there's
school.
dudes.
Yeah.
there's probably like a sister school thing.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things where it's like they're all. It's probably in the sense where everyone has to serve in some way.
Yeah.
So that's why they're at that school. Like I'm fine with them training to become
But
that,
I
but
don't know-
why would they
Well, no,
pick
not
them when they haven't even
necess-
graduated?
I don't think so because she got accepted to that school because there was a little note saying that you got accepted to go into the school.
she got
Well,
accepted,
yeah,
but
but she could still serve in some of the way. Like in Korea,
Her
for
admiral
example,
dad.
everyone has to serve.
I just thought
Or
I thought she
somehow.
got into high school where they just go straight to the military.
That's probably what it is. It's just, but they haven't graduated yet.
she
So
had,
I was like,
she
why
had
was the point?
privileges though. She did.
Because she's the daughter.
Exactly. That's the entire point.
Yeah.
That
She believes in
Coach's
herself.
whole thing of I believe in your potential is just BS. It's because her dad saved him. Because it's like, what? And I also like his whole
It's in the
speech of,
genes.
you have to rely on yourself. You have to rely on yourself,
No,
Noriko.
I'm
And then she
sorry.
relies solely on him
Mhm.
to train her and to believe in her. So I was just like, you're very contradictory there, coach.
You know what I was thinking?
Best girl coach.
Best girl coach.
In the first episode, I was just like, when she did that little fight thing and she did that Uzumazi lightning.
Oh, we'll get okay.
Yeah, but
Well, first off, the Daughter of Defeat, that was her nickname when they fought. So it's like, what the heck would you think would happen with a nickname like that? She lost, of course. The Daughter of Defeat lost. And during that kick, imagine if after she cut off the monitors, then she did the kick, she destroyed the school building instead of her opponent.
Like, but what I was
'cause
thinking,
she
She
did
turned
land-
it off. She went blind. It's like putting a blindfold on.
She did land on I think a soccer goal or something.
But she kicked the person that she was
Yeah.
planning on kicking. It's like you turn your vision off. How the heck are you supposed to see?
Well,
I'm feeling it.
I think like
It's
you mentioned earlier, it's
Star
more like
Wars.
Star Wars. It's
Yeah.
like the targeting computer. It's not like
Yeah.
she's blind, but she's relying more on instinct and knowing the machine and how it works.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
that
but,
makes a
it's
little
like-
more
it's
sense.
like
I
she's-
thought she just turned everything off and was like,
It's like
oh,
she's-
screw it.
She's taken off the training wheels and now she just has to
well,
balance.
see, I know what I
that's
was
cool.
thinking.
She should
was
have
That's
done
what
that in
I think,
space.
at least.
No, when I saw that, I thought she was going to be the only pilot without using monitors.
Okay, what else is
That's
more
all
about
for
episode
episode.
one?
That's all for episode
I got
one
a
that I
couple
wrote
more.
down. What you got?
She's chicken.
Chicken?
No, no, it's just funny because like I was laughing really hard whenever like they found out the results who's gonna be the partners to go into the space thing with Coach, and then everyone's all like that, and then like everyone's all she sits down there thing like like a thumbtack. I was expecting like they put like water or something. I was expecting a thumbtack.
Oh, and I guess we'll say this now. Like those uniforms, my God.
Yeah,
These professional soldier military uniforms are essentially panties.
it didn't bother me.
I know,
Like,
I
I
know,
didn't care.
and I know it's very 80s,
Yeah,
It's very,
very.
but I was just
Yes.
like, oh boy,
80s
Matt-
were
like that's
pervy.
not particularly functional.
No, Matt looked up. Let me see if I can find some fan art of this.
Oh yeah, you know
God.
me.
Because it kind of reminds
Well,
me
you
of
don't
like
need fan art. You can just watch the show.
What was if you want more?
What more do you want?
You get it all in one package.
There's plenty. Forewarning. Well, if you're listening, you've already seen it. But there's plenty of nudity.
Nudity.
It's some of it's not very necessary. But
I
I was
was
like, it's an OVA, and horny guy's gonna buy this.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
my
but
god!
I just thought it was funny because like the first
ending
like when
sequence.
like can we talk about the
What?
the second episode?
Sure, let's move to the
like
second.
whenever like
are we done with episode
Yes,
one?
I think
let's
so,
just
yeah.
move
I mean,
on.
she pretty much beats the other girl up, and
yeah, the other girl's like,
did it.
it should have been me. Now let's fight so you can prove
okay,
yourself.
daughter,
Oh, you
defeat.
beat
Get the
me.
hell out of
Oh.
here. You're not the hope of humanity. Bye
It's like,
bye.
I'm gonna beat you. Oh, you beat me. You obviously
I
deserve
get
the
you
right.
earned my respect by whooping my ass.
I don't even know how to fly this thing still.
Yeah.
Pretty
That's the
much.
thing that pissed me off is like,
All right, let's just cut into episode 2.
So everybody's good with episode
Okay.
one. That's
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yes.
She goes to school. She does the thing.
She goes to graduate
whoops
day
some
one.
butt.
Okay, episode 2.
Like I was just like
What
surprised.
you got? Go ahead.
No, it's just that Soviet you like
Soviet Union.
no, it's just funny because like they wake up and then like they look at the ship and then they're like, it's smaller than I thought, and then she looks away. Coach is like, don't look away.
Perspective in space is different.
There's a lot of moments like that in the show where it's just funny. Where it's like it's I don't know if it's just old animation or whatever, but just stuff like that. It's
It's
like
kind of the style. It's
Yeah.
like be curt and get to it.
And then the whole bath scene, I was not expecting. I was just expecting smoke and clouds, smoke and mirrors. You know?
That's
Yeah, like how they would do now. Like
Yeah,
that's
modern
probably-
no, they
or
just
light,
don't care.
or just
Yeah.
the fog or something like
Yeah,
that.
but no, I was
No.
not expecting
full frontal.
full nudity.
No, I
Oh, it's-
sent Carlos a
it's-
snap about it.
Yeah, he sent me that.
because it was just like you said there was going to be a little bit, but then it's just like full frontals. Okay,
Hey man, it
thanks.
can't be as bad as Devil Man.
Mild nudity, full on titty.
I mean, it's just boobs,
I
and you
know,
don't see
I
like
know, but
Anything else?
yeah, you don't
Okay,
see.
you weren't
honestly,
expecting it.
But
so-
I was laughing at that
Okay,
part
which
too,
was
where those
worse?
Calm down. One at a time.
Which was worse, that or Devilman?
Devil
Devil
Man.
Exactly.
because they were
Brandon
shaking,
amuses me. No, it's
Yeah.
not.
shaking
Well,
like
I
the
mean,
grandma gave.
I mean, in severity of nudity, and at least in Gunbuster, it's just they're standing there or
But-
sitting there.
But in Devilman, it kind of shows about like how like the wildness of the
Depraved.
It had more
the
point.
rituals.
Yeah,
and
it's more
stuff.
point. It's not
Yeah.
just.
we're in the
I get
shower.
you.
It was
Yeah.
on the roof when
No,
he
no,
woke
but I was
up.
laughing when
I
there's
know
a-
it's a Japanese thing for like communal baths, but
Yeah.
like for me, no.
But you're because you're
No,
an individual.
never.
You're an individual.
Well, not even that. It's just like,
You're not proud of your body or what?
no.
Oh no!
Nobody
Okay,
is.
listen,
I'm just kidding. I know.
Of everyone here, Carlos is pretty handsome.
Yeah.
Call me ugly.
Brandon has some boyish good looks. The rest of us are ugly.
Oh no!
Okay, we just
That
have to
is
live
not
with it.
correct
I'm
at
not
all.
ugly.
You guys are not ugly.
On the inside, you're beautiful.
Everyone here is beautiful and gorgeous.
Aw.
So
I'm trying to lose weight and I'm still fucking ugly.
Hey, hey! Slap you from across the table,
So
boy.
this podcast just became talking shit about ourselves.
Love yourself.
Anyway.
Love yourself.
Okay, I
Anyway,
can,
but no, what
do you
made
have
me
anything
laugh,
else?
No, what made me laugh is those guys in the mechs were like,
Okay.
Oh yeah, when they went by the.
So wait, so robots
That's
can
another
just
thing,
pass
okay.
by the open window space bath. Why was there an open window space bath when anybody could just pass?
We want to
pass
look
by?
at the stars while we bathe ourselves.
Yeah, but people can see in. They can't have like a
Which is
two-way?
it's just,
But
that's
I-
one thing in general that I'll say now. It's just like they're supposed to be military, and military is supposed to have discipline. Lots of the characters should have been court-martialed and thrown out,
Yeah.
especially when the
But
Soviet
Jap-
girl and
Oh my
Amano have their
gosh.
fight and they damage stuff and,
And
they
they
go
found-
places
and they
they're not
found
supposed to go.
and they found something
And
top
it's like,
secret.
we'll look away this time. I was like, forget you.
But do it again, and we'll put you in the
We'll
brig.
put you in the bridge.
Yeah.
I was like,
That
we
made me
should do
laugh.
it now. And like, I know, like you're setting them up to be the golden kids,
Okay, and not to be like, but if you binge this, they're all gonna blend to one episode.
Yeah.
Which was the one whenever she had that space trauma when she was gonna fight the Soviet chick?
Later, I think
That's
probably
episode
4. It's 4, yeah. Because
Okay.
that's before, yeah.
No, but it made me laugh whenever the Soviet, like, I thought she was gonna be like a total, like, one of those, I won't say the C word, but like throughout the whole series.
No.
But then like after
Just back and forth.
yeah, so like then after that she comes in the back, it's like, oh, that was a weird way to introduce myself, but like you know,
Call her
I
a total commie.
She's probably bipolar.
yeah,
Oh,
she's religious
No,
too. She has a
no.
cross.
Yeah. And then she like let's have a birthday party.
I
or
actually
whatever.
thought
Yeah.
her and the blue-haired chick were gonna get together.
Yeah,
Come on.
the
'Cause they were
blue
like-
chick and her have like the same birthday.
Intense.
No,
No,
it's her
it's,
and
Noriko.
Noriko had
yeah.
the same birthday.
but then she was gone for 6 months.
Yeah.
But that's because the show's based on science.
Was
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
The science.
Is
I think
episode
that's so
3 the
cool.
one where they tried to go?
It's
Yes.
very interesting.
Okay.
Like,
Episode 3 is I laughed. It's probably
I've
the
still
biggest
got,
laugh.
I think,
Okay.
2 more things. There's 3 more things actually about episode 2.
Okay.
No, I
We
just
probably talked about it, you didn't even notice.
no. It's like it's like the dad. I came home at the speed of light, and it's like, yeah, and you died that quickly too.
Oh.
Oh, and I guess just to go off that, where the heck is her mom?
Yes.
She's not even mentioned. It's like she didn't
It's true.
exist. I was like, did you just like come out of the ground and your dad just found you?
Test tube.
She's just a daddy's girl.
I
She
guess.
doesn't care about her
like, I'm
mom.
assuming her mother is dead as well, but it's
We
like
don't
then
know who
when
the egg
were
donor
you-
was.
Like, how did that work? And it's a typical like anime thing of like one of the parents is dead, and sometimes that's part of the story. It's like for the character. Most of the time, it's just to get the character out of the way, so I don't have
Yeah.
to deal with them.
Yeah.
And that's what the mom was. Mom just did not exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I didn't notice it till now.
She never even mentioned.
I didn't
Never
think about
implied
it.
she ever even lived with her.
I assumed she was dead.
Maybe she was a.
Yeah, because she lived on her own, didn't she?
Well, she couldn't be that young, but we'll get to a part that was weird
It is
later
interesting.
For
on.
all we
in
know,
general.
she could have died at birth, and her dad raised her on her own.
Well,
It's
yeah,
true,
but then
but we
she'd
don't-
have
they didn't mention
someone. She'd
Yeah.
be like a nanny or
They
something.
did not mention anything about
Yeah.
it.
All you
That
gotta
is
tell
true.
me is like, all you gotta do is like the typical like picture of the family, like the mom's face is blocked,
Yeah.
like implying, oh, she's dead. Like all you gotta say is she's dead, and I'm like, okay, but like it's just like she didn't exist.
Yeah, maybe that was just because of like budget, and also just they were
I
trying to
don't
focus
know
on
about
how much she
budget.
loved her dad or
Yeah,
something.
she's just very into her dad. It's
Yeah.
like focused on the dad.
Papa.
That annoyed me about subs. Like she says Papa, just put Papa. Don't put Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Daddy.
It's like Daddy. And even when she says, like, I think she
I don't
says
know,
just
my
like
sub- my
father
sub-
or dad sometimes. It still says Daddy or just like
I don't know. The sub I said it said Papa.
sometimes. The
Sometimes,
other
I
times
think.
she said
Not all
Daddy
the time.
or
Not
Papa
all the
clearly,
time.
and it said Daddy.
I think you're gonna say Papa Coon.
Papa Goon.
Okay.
Did you
Just
get
two
more
other
notes?
things. I mean, in that episode, they ended up running into the ghost ship Lexion, which I thought that was funny. It's just out there in the middle of space going at light speed. But then, that whole thing is just crazy because it's only been 2 days since, when they catch
Yeah.
up to it, it's only been 2 days since the ship actually blew up. Which on Earth, it was like a year, 6 months to a year, somewhat.
From like when her dad died.
Yes.
No,
Oh,
it's been years.
Yeah,
because
she
she
was
was.
eight.
yeah.
She was
eight.
So it's been like at
It's
least
been
like,
years,
it's
but
8 years.
on the ship, it was only 2 days. So I thought that was the introduction of the time stuff. And it's just
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. And then, when they get back, it's been 6 months. They messed up on their timing. So when they came back, everybody else who they'd left behind was a little bit older. And of course, they walk into the party without any kind of debriefing, and then Noriko runs off and
I laughed
cries
at that.
because Daddy's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, seriously, why in the heck is she going to a party after that, right after that happened? No, she'd be debriefed and put into her quarters to where she can go cry and not ruin
Mhm.
the party.
Like have a shower or something.
I was like,
Yeah, exactly. They just kind of, oh, you're back. It's been 6 months. You've missed everything.
I like how Coach was over there like, no! It's like, I gotta go get her. If I don't make it in time, you're gonna leave us.
All right, well, we can go to episode 3. That's all.
Oh
I have
well,
for
I
that.
just laughed at episode 3 because it starts with. I feel like it was a big middle finger to everyone who was trying
What
to.
was that
question
first
it.
minute and a half of that?
What?
I don't even remember.
It was literally scrolling text of them
Okay,
explaining the science.
That's why it says
Oh.
And in the
WTF
background,
is the first minute and a half of that. I don't know.
It was them explaining the science of the time and of the ships and stuff.
I felt like the OVAs.
I skipped that.
Sorry,
Well,
not the OVAs.
and then in the background, it
other
was like
stuff
them,
explained
the
it.
characters at karaoke. That's why it kind of got disorientating because the text is kanji Japanese,
Yeah.
and it's on the top of it. It's explaining what it's saying, but it's very
Weren't
heavy
people
science and
speaking
gibberish.
at the same time?
There are people doing karaoke on the bottom. The
I
characters
couldn't
were
read
singing.
both. That was
I know.
annoying.
I had to look up and
I
down.
feel
And
like I'm gonna skip that.
once I realized
Yeah, I
that
did.
the top was just the gibberish, and I understood what it was. It was giving
It
forget
was
you
going
guys.
more gibberish than the other science stuff did. The other
Then I
science
just
stuff
focused on
actually
the
went
bottom
kid
text. That's what it
version.
was. It's like saying, "Oh, this is because of Newton's law." Blah blah blah. It's like all of that.
Okay.
And I think at that point, they're on the actual space station. At
Silver Star.
Yeah.
Silver Star? Silver?
Yes. Silver Star.
Silver Star. And of course she runs into Smith.
Oh God. Okay, can we laminate on the fact that this man's first name is Smith?
Hello, Smith.
I thought they were just doing Japanese. Like
No, because it's supposed to be like that's another thing. It's like supposed to be like this international like UN kind of thing.
Yeah.
Everyone from all the countries pulls their people and the resources.
Yeah.
Everyone of importance is Japanese. So just like wow, really?
I thought this guy was
Except
American.
He is
I'm
American.
guessing he's either American or he's some other.
Canadian, British.
American pilot.
Oh, Smith.
But that was supposed to be.
Because
See, in 2015, we name our children Smith.
I thought his first
Apparently
name
he's
was
from
Agent
Texas.
Smith.
Oh God.
What's his first name?
It's a,
His first name is Smith.
What's his last name?
Tori.
I thought it was
Tory-
Tory Smith.
Torin.
Smith.
Torin.
Yeah, Torin. But yeah, he's apparently
He's
from
Oh,
Texas.
he's apparently from Amarillo, Texas.
Oh my God.
Hi there, my name's Smith. How you doing,
Remember,
Narco?
2015 is already dead.
Yeah. Well, that'd be the year he died.
Ugh.
So yeah, that was exactly what should have happened for sending an unstable child out into a combat zone.
Okay, so to give a little more context, they're on the space station. They're about to get attacked by something. Something's coming, and Noriko runs into the vending, runs into this Smith dude at the vending machine.
No,
No,
they're doing
it was
the
Truth
challenge,
or
the truth or
Dare.
dare
Truth or
challenge.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing that first.
Yeah.
Well, the only note I have is the secondhand kiss part. I just thought that was funny.
No, it's because
Just like she gets
they
a-
get caught.
that
And
thing,
the coach
isn't
is
it?
all, you
Yeah.
guys can't be out here during the wave or whatever the transfer.
They're going through warp or something, and it's like everyone's supposed to be in their quarters.
Yeah.
And they do this like test of courage thing. They have to go.
Oh, that's how they met.
yeah, they have to
that
tie
was
their
cute.
they have to tie their
Gotta
ribbons
admit.
to the top of the ladder.
The
It was.
coach was already out there.
I know. Coach.
You're not supposed to be here.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I knew this would happen.
Wasting your time.
I was up here touching myself.
Jesus, he might have been.
Coachy.
Not bad.
And
Gunbuster.
and then of course they have like the little cute back and forth romance.
It was cute.
But the thing is,
I like how they did that. Even though it was just one episode,
Yeah.
I
like how it
kind of
ended.
liked how it was. Of course you would.
But like
No.
one thing that I didn't like is like she breaks up with Lamano, right? Like they're grouping.
Yeah.
Is it because she overheard her?
Yeah. Well, she
Yeah.
already wanted to break up because she's right in that she's not ready, but because of anime, she will be good because she has the potential and the will.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for
Um,
some freaking reason.
But
And coach was like,
he
no.
just goes and I guess just has the pull of to say, okay, we're partners now. You would think you would like go up the
Yeah.
chain of command, saying, okay, we requested
No,
blah blah blah.
Coach would just be like, "No, suck it up. It's an order. You're gonna stay with Amano."
I thought that's what
That's-
he did.
That's well, no, because they were together when
I
the
know,
battle
but like that's
started.
what I was thinking. But
Amano
and then I
got
was
with
like,
young.
and then they're like, I'm alone now. I thought, what the fuck did I just miss?
I know, right?
Maybe it's just like they expect the people to like be friendly with them. So if they're not friendly, they wouldn't be good partners together. So I don't know.
Right, but Coach specifically picked.
Yeah.
It's gotta be you
Noriko,
two.
Yeah.
I see it in my vision.
Yeah.
which I
This
guess
is my vision.
He had
he's got
foresight.
crazy PTSD. Should he even be in active duty?
No, probably not.
With my back.
And another
and riding
thing,
a scooter while you're running down the beach with punches.
why were they not taught about everything they were fighting?
Because it was fairly new.
There are parts where it implies
But
that they didn't
know
that there were
anything.
things they didn't know. Like I said, the enemy is very much they're in between. They only know so much, but they learned more. But like I agree with what you're saying, but I'm sure like some of it was like top classified stuff, and they're
But
pretty
right
low.
when they she gets out there and she just sees blurs fly by her, and that's why Smith dies because she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
But
If
how
she
they
knew what she
Because
was doing, if
because
she
shouldn't
saw.
she shouldn't have been out there is the main point, and other people knew what they were doing.
But even then, it's
Smith-
like if you can't even see what you're fighting, how do you fight it?
But she was.
I think it was one of those where it's her perspective, so that's why they seem so fast. Everyone else knows what they're doing, so they weren't overwhelmed like
But I
her.
think the show
Yeah.
explained it a little bit later is that these things can travel at light speeds, and they can travel at light speeds too, and that their engines actually slows everything down to a point where they can keep up and actually fight real time, which is freaking cool.
But if
I
they can
didn't
move that
understand
fast in that way when they're like
but
they're small
there'd be no
fighters,
chance.
there will be no war. It ought to be over. So it can't be exactly as that. They can't just turn it off and on.
But
And
that's how
also-
she does it later.
But also, it's like, are they
Control.
are there are those ships with aliens on them, or are the ships themselves living?
Alien.
Because I felt like that's what they were. They were living things.
So like those things in Avengers, the first Avengers.
The
Space
whales,
whales.
the space
Space
whales.
whales.
kind of, but those are like giant. Yeah, they're just giant.
But they had
monsters.
troops on them.
But
Yeah.
these are more celluloid in nature.
Yeah.
Like they're like
Okay,
cells in the
Tanner.
body.
You ruined my
It's the
fun.
same
You could
thing.
just say yes.
But
I did,
I don't
and
know.
then I
No, but
explained a little more.
no, you pretty much said
Yes.
no. Let me tell you why you're wrong. You're like nope.
But I think
You're like,
those
no.
are specific
Like, I am right.
living, breathing creatures, and these
No,
are
you're
like
like
cells
this.
where they don't necessarily think and feel. They're just kind of there.
No, you're like I'm right. You're wrong. You're going to jail.
there's some intent.
You're going to
There's
jail.
some.
They probably are a hive mind.
That would
maybe.
make sense. But I think the monsters in that too were a hive mind.
But
So,
anyway,
yeah.
back to
I just feel like
Gunbuster.
there's
Anyway,
different
Smith's whole character is to be Noriko's character development.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
supposed to die, so she realizes, oh, this is actually real.
Literally
And
minutes
people
after he
die.
was introduced, he's
and then she.
Well, I knew when he introduced.
Dead.
When I knew when
I
they
didn't know. I
introduced
thought he could have lasted a few more episodes. Come on,
He died.
I knew
Coach
he would
survived the
eventually
whole
die.
series. Almost.
him. No, I was about to say.
No.
Just about.
But that was that episode, and it was a
It was
good.
good.
It was stepping stone.
It was
Yeah.
a good stepping stone. Now,
And
we're
then-
good with 3.
Was it 3 the PTSD or I thought it was 4?
No, it's
3
4.
started the PTSD. 4 is dealing with the PTSD.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, because like isn't it when, like
Four
the Russian girl sees him seeing Coach train her and she's all, I'm bitchy again and now I want to fight you.
Yeah.
Okay, and I
I'm
guess-
gray-haired girl,
Oh,
but
I shouldn't do
red-haired
that
girl. Well, I was gonna say episode 4 begins with the show reminding me once more how it shafted Smith so hard. Space battle ahoy! I think there was a big another space battle there.
Smith.
Was that the one when it like just cut to drawings? Like,
No, that's
Okay.
not till episode.
oh, that's the last one.
That's
Yeah,
the last
6.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
But there was a lot of character growth in this episode. This is the episode where the Gunbuster finally comes out.
Yeah.
Because that's all I've got is notes is Gunbuster.
Yeah, because I guess
Well, because
Oh
the
my
Soviet chick
God.
challenges her to fight because, like
Yes.
Romero was saying, she was mad at her again,
Yeah.
and she can't do it
That
because
is
she
it.
has PTSD and a breakdown,
Smith!
which was kind of dumb because when they're standing there on the thing,
Go
like when
cheat.
she's in her mech, she does like the fetal position cry with the mech. But I'm like, what?
I know that was
Because
weird.
it's not like a 1-for-1, the person moving matches the mech kind of thing. It's like you have to make it move.
She made
So
it
I
do
can
it,
understand
too.
her inside the thing going like, oh my god, but it would just stand there, not get on the knees and hold
Well,
its
I mean,
head.
if they can do push-ups with it, then maybe they can go into.
But
fetal
that's the
position, too.
conscious thing.
Mm.
She'd have to like program it and move it like, oh, I gotta be sad about
Fetal
it.
position activate.
I'm so inconsolable about it. I gotta move it into position to show that I'm inconsolable.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's just awesome. And then she overheard him, so she's gonna die. She's not a threat to us.
Isn't it after like that? Then both the Russian chick and her partner got into a slap fest.
Slap fight.
a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think it's kind of blurred together. I should have made more detailed notes.
No, it's okay.
And then she sees. And
They
then,
slap each other because they're getting angry.
And then like the
Yeah.
enemy comes and they're
The
like,
enemy
is this the one
comes
they ever
and-
explained, or is it episode 5 when they explain what they want to do?
Well, I think
Monsters?
they.
It was-
I feel like
yeah,
they
it was
approached.
the next one, I
What was
think.
it called? They approached that one star.
No, because-
that was
remember-
supposed to be-
Yeah, they go to the star and they see
He's all,
how.
what's this red horrendous thing?
and it's the enemy because the enemy, like you mentioned earlier, breeds in stars, and then they all come out in mass, and they're like, "We gotta stop this before it keeps happening."
Yeah.
It's gonna come to Earth.
Yeah, and
But,
like
And that's all I can remember.
so much.
about. Well, they
all
had the big
warping
battle.
was
with-
happening.
No, but
and
what
all
made
that.
me
Gunbuster
laugh,
comes
what made
out.
me
Yeah.
laugh was like, I don't know, man. I can't remember because like they're like, she's all, where are you guys going? Hurry up, get in your suits. Well, our machine is broken. All right,
Take Noriko.
you're on the sideline. She's in the
She's
in
her
the
bed.
corners. Like, she's right. Coach lost faith in me.
Also, very, very lax security that you can go and just get in the Gunbuster.
She
without
just
assistance.
she just
Yeah.
went and got in it, and she's
Which-
never
well,
driven it either.
Yeah, for one
It's the
thing, I
first
can
time.
understand, like, because they're in chaos, because, like, they're almost going to die and the ship's under attack.
What do you mean?
But
That
there's no way
training-
you can launch that thing without assistance from people.
Yeah.
Like, people have to press buttons and
Yeah,
switches.
but what-
But somehow,
But what I mean
I like how
is,
Coach is
what do
like,
you mean
it's
she
about
didn't ever
fucking
been?
time.
That robot she was
she's
training.
never been in. Okay,
But
just because
that-
you've
but
been
that-
in a
but that
car
tra- that
doesn't
tra-
mean
no,
you
no,
can
no.
drive a spaceship.
No.
And they emphasize
okay.
that the
But what I'm saying-
Gunbuster is different from the regular mech.
I know, but the mech she was training training with had the same controls as the Gunbuster.
It's not the same.
Well, you could argue that all of them
They're
have the
similar,
same
but not the
controls.
same.
I don't
I
know,
like how later it's
I don't know.
described that you actually need 2 pilots to pilot the Buster.
Yeah.
I thought that it was going to need two, but I guess she just got in it all by herself and it was just fine.
She's the
But it
chosen
wasn't- it
one.
wasn't-
It's like a double-seated bicycle. Technically, you can move it by yourself,
And
but
like
it's easier
a-
with two.
Like I was saying earlier about the whole degeneracy engines and all that, like the only reason she was able to stop it with the Gunbuster in that episode is because she was able to. It was moving faster than light. That thing, whatever that spiked dolphin super monster fish
Normal.
cell thing, it was gonna ram her and just kill her, which it should have. But she was able to stop it with that machine. It was able to literally halt the momentum of whatever it was touching, and then they used their little electric thing to kill it. Which for some reason electricity just kills these things. I don't know
I'm
what
just
it is.
glad that the
about that.
Gunbuster was
Yeah, she should have been
damaged
skewered,
heavily
because that's
instead of
about
just,
where
like,
she
in one
is.
piece.
Yeah.
No,
Like, at least her leg should have been crushed.
But isn't it?
Because
Isn't
its
it, isn't
its
it more
spears are
huger,
right
though?
through the middle.
Isn't it like at least like 3 times huger than the regular mechs?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe she's not exactly there.
Because I feel like they're in the head.
One of the science episodes
Maybe.
explained how
well,
big
they're
everything
when they're
was.
both in it, they're in like the top and
Yeah,
bottom
but
of
I feel like she was on the top.
She's
Yeah.
actually like kind of in the middle. And they're like super super small.
Hmm.
Like
But that
these
is
things are
that,
huge. The Gunbuster is huge, and then of course the actual spaceship that they were in, the Evangelion, super huge too. Super super huge.
Okay,
I mean, that's pretty
What's
much it.
episode
Gunbuster
five?
showed up
episodes 5, remember?
before I go to episode 5. Okay,
oh yes.
there was, I guess, a gap, and I didn't realize that they stopped making the series at that point. There was only 4 episodes because I noticed on the side I was watching it, it had like 1988, and then it skipped to like 1995, and I was like, maybe that's just when they put it up. And then later in episode 6, I think it was one of the side ones. They hadn't actually made the 5th and 6th episodes until 1990, in the 1990s. It was weird.
Interesting.
It was such a weird thing because, of course, episode 5 and episode 6
Well,
both
that
had
makes-
time skips too.
Yeah.
But it's like actual literal. The
'Cause
show stopped at episode 4,
I remember-
and then they completed it
I
later.
remember the end of episode 4. It says we're not. It'll be a while because we're still working on it, and
Well, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
I still think it came out in '89 though.
It said 90,
On your
Something
illegal
95.
pirate site.
possibly.
The Euro
But I
support
think
anime.
they actually mentioned it, that it's been in like a couple years, and I'm just like, wow, maybe it's correct.
Well,
That's
everything,
just crazy.
everything I looked up says last volume came out in '89. But it
Okay.
did, like, that was where it
6
temporarily
years.
ended because they released two episodes at a time.
So when did it
So
start?
it was one.
Was
It
it
was
88?
88, 1, 2, and then
94 then.
it was 3 and 4, then 5 and 6.
Okay.
No, but 5. We're back on Earth and now I'm graduating.
Space time differences suck. I hated that.
I like how
Yeah.
everybody
It
was
was just
older.
sad.
I know her friend that like she
So
went
I
to
need
school
you
with.
to take. I need your military.
Yeah, she got the
connections.
kid.
Okay, since we've reached that point, do you want to try and explain the science, Tanner? Since you
Okay.
watched the thing
Well,
that explained it, even
It's
though
hard to re-explain.
some of
it,
us have
'cause
a
it was
basic
just
idea
something that
already.
I just kind of get.
Explain the time travel.
The time travel is because of how far they are.
What do you mean?
space
Well, if
is
you
so
go-
unbelievably
But how,
fast.
okay, well,
If
yeah.
you do light
I
speed,
can understand that, but what I'm saying is the age difference. How come they can grow but not them?
because they're on Earth.
Okay,
That's how
imagine-
much time passed.
Imagine you built a time machine, all right?
Uh-huh.
And you're on Earth, and you want to go 5 years in the future. You press the button, and you disappear. What happens to Earth?
It stays.
It's sitting there. So to everyone else on the planet, 5 years passes, and then you pop up. From your perspective, it's been a minute. For everyone
Pretty
else, it's been 5 years.
And because it
That's
takes
how
that long
space
to
works.
travel.
Space is so vast that when you have to move at the speed of light, when you're moving the speed of light, time is different.
Yeah.
Time is going to pass because that's how fast you're going.
That's just weird that you don't age, though. I just think that's weird.
Because
Your
it's
time,
2
it's-
days, but
yeah.
back on Earth, because you're not. Earth isn't going that speed. Earth is its own thing.
Pretty much anytime you
They're
go
going super fast.
super fast.
so how long was
Like
it?
that's a principle they've actually measured here on Earth. Like very fast things sometimes get off by a few seconds because they're going so fast. They're essentially going a bit through time.
pretty much.
So
It's really
It's just
how old was she?
And
She
they
was
explain
27,
more
right?
of
Her friend was
their-
27.
yes.
Yes.
she
She was
came
gone.
back.
So they were gone.
17 second season.
So they were gone. They were
17,
gone for 10 years on Earth. 10?
Yeah,
Yes.
they were gone. That's why it was
Oh,
like
shit,
when
so
they
she's
came
still
back and
17.
graduated, it was funny because it's just like we should be 27. But like, there was a lot of stuff happened in episode 5 and 6 because it's. I think they finally, after Gunbuster does what it does,
Coach collapses with blood.
there's some
Okay.
stuff that's about to happen because
Well, they need like the finale.
they're
yeah.
figuring it out. They're figuring out what they're going to do next, and I think
So when they
they're
found
not
out,
quite. They're not going to do the center of the galaxy yet, but they go to another place first to cause because like there's like 8 billion or 12 billion
Ships.
of their forces
because they're
coming to Earth.
Yes.
They figure out they're coming to Earth. Noriko and Amano have
Oh.
they've just been chilling for a little while. It hasn't been that long.
with their loose shirt,
Or it's been. It's sorry. It hasn't.
Oh.
It has been a
Wasn't
little
there
while.
this confrontation like where Coach ends up slapping?
Yes, and
Yes,
I'll
that's
say
another
since
love
we've,
thing.
we've reached that now, I feel
Yes.
like that was a very dumb romance.
Yeah.
It was kind of
She's
out of,
still in high school though, technically.
he is probably even older than we think he is, because like how old do you think he would be, like in his 30s at least?
I think
But
he's old.
Considering he's done the space stuff and he's been out in space doing light speed, he's probably even older than that.
He's still his
Yeah.
age, but I'm
He's
saying
probably
like
old enough to be her father.
he. In,
So that was
in
like
space
dumb.
time, yes.
No,
Earth
even
time,
then,
sorry,
even in Earth,
Earth
time, he would be like 30,
yeah, he's old.
and she's like 18, 17.
No,
That's
yeah.
too much, and he's her superior and known him when she's that young.
It's a
Yeah.
weird
So that was like a
romance.
romance I felt like unearned out of nowhere for the sake of romance, for the
Pretty
sake
much.
of giving her a reason to have her breakdown to show Noriko's greatness. They had to show another character's flaws, and that's what that was. She had to have a reason, like, oh, he's gonna die, and it's like, how attached are you to him, really? Like, if
he's
anything,
Coach.
I was expecting,
Because he's coach.
I was
yes.
expecting Noriko to fall for him because she spent so much time with him.
Exactly.
Training
Coach
I
and
guess
has a
with
harem.
her, it became more like a father figure.
Yeah.
With Amano, it's like, no, I got to get up on that.
Nah, she loves Smith, bro.
I'll see. There's Jung. There's Amano. There's Noriko. There's Carlos.
Yes,
Everybody
everyone
wants
just
Coach.
fell in love with Coach, and I'm like, he's kind of a jerk. I
Oh,
know he has reasons to be kind of a jerk, but he's not a catch.
Yeah.
So that one I felt was very unearned and very out of nowhere, and was for the sake of, like I said, giving Amano a reason to have her break down, so Noriko has a reason to be shown undisputedly as the best.
Coachy. I just like how she realized it's like, oh no, he's gonna die in 6 months because of his space radiation, and then she's like, and then she gets launched. I just like she realizes right then it's because he's sick, and then just she gets launched. Which
But
of
she
course
knew
they're
he was
getting
gonna
launched
die.
because they're gonna go fight the enemy out in space, which they're pretty much going to turn one of their warp engines, which they use to get across space, into a black hole, into a literal freaking black hole.
Yeah, which I thought was
It's
so.
like, yeah, let's get rid of him. Yeah, it was just tight.
And then,
I
and
really
then
loved
they
it.
and they fell, then they get sucked in, and then they're.
That's why I like it so much, because they sucked. I'm kidding. They actually succeeded. There was a transformation sequence where, well, they get there, and I'm like, the only reason Coach didn't want Amano to know that he was sick was just, she won't fight if she knows I'm gonna die.
She's weak.
Because literally, they're like, they got the freaking Earth clock right in front of them as they're going through space at light speed, and it's just like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Oh, I'm dead. And it's just funny, and like she does break down in the middle of it. It's like, I can't. If I go any further, he's gonna be dead. And it's just like, well, if you don't do something, then we're all gonna die.
I was honestly surprised that time she wasted just breaking down. It's like,
Like that's when he died.
Yes.
Oh, because it was a suicide mission technically, because they're trying to protect the broken ship because it has its warp engine, and they're pretty much having it decay, and they're sending it right into the middle of the fleet of enemy cell monster things and just blowing it up, pretty much making the
Yeah.
black hole there.
Or pop.
That's what I thought when I thought this was going to be the finale. I thought, oh, it's just
Me
going to be like a
too.
two-parter.
But then,
But
there
then they
was
had to,
always
like, we gotta make it
episode
bigger.
6.
We got to go bigger, guys.
I like that they did that, but like the black hole sequence was beautiful, and I even liked that it's just like, oh yeah, we just set off a black hole in space. It's like, no, Earth's actually going to get hit by it later, but we can worry about that when we get to it. And of course, like, does anybody else have anything to say about episode 5?
I like how Coach broke into the briefing. He's all, "Let me show you something."
We gotta do this.
Yeah, we gotta
It's
do
just like,
it.
what? Take him back to the VA hospital, please.
gown or
Yeah.
something?
That was just funny because they're like, "This shit ain't gonna work," and Coach comes in, "Let me go."
I've got a plan.
What were you gonna say?
No, I was just still surprised. Like when I first watched it, I thought either A, she was gonna die, or B, freaking Coach is gonna be dead. I didn't think he would survive that long.
That's true. He did survive when they got back.
He was still alive. He held on to
was
her
great.
to hold her,
Or
and get
maybe
married,
there's your
and then
advance in
die.
medicine. He was cured.
But he wasn't because he died.
For a little bit. He was
Oh.
cured long enough.
Yeah.
We advanced just a little bit. The space
We
radiation
gave
still
him
gonna kill
another
him,
week,
but...
guys.
So
they can have a
hilarious-
baby?
Okay, I would have thought this would have been
Well,
hilarious.
I'm assuming they didn't. They were married at least, but Well, I mean, if you get the space radiation that bad, then
How do you get that, man?
go be out in space for years.
So I would have thought my bones would be all withered and cracked easily than radiation.
Ugh.
I would have been laughing if she came back and gave Coach a hug and he just died right there.
Oh no.
He died.
No, it turns out it was a statue.
Okay,
of
no,
Coach.
we're still on.
We made him immortal.
Oh, and when they got back, how the heck did they get clearance to land the giant space mech
They
next to the
probably
military
didn't because
hospital?
they've learned that they can do whatever they want.
It
Yeah.
seems like
There's
They're
no
the
military
saviors.
discipline.
They're the
See, but the
saviors.
thing, that's the thing. Like in Evangelion, you shouldn't compare. But I'm comparing, so I feel bad. But I'm
Yeah,
still-
it's
broke
not
our
right now if
rule.
you feel that bad.
no.
Hypocrite.
In Evangelion, when things like that happen, it works better because one,
they
the
have a
pilots are
military
younger.
command too.
They're younger, so it's like you can forgive them more for doing stupid things. And two, they're the only ones who can do this.
That's
In
true.
Evangelion, they have to have specific
I
pilots.
think anybody could have done the stuff
in Gunbuster, there's many other people who can do these things,
Well, Coach
and
probably
there's still,
No, Coach would have been like this. He wouldn't have been like
in
this.
Evangelion, there's
Oh,
more of
my
a
wrist!
reason for why they can let people look the other way. In Gunbuster, they continue to do what they want and get away with it. That's why they were able to land at the hospital like that.
Okay.
And this is something that happened before you. I got two more things. So I was watching one of the science lesson for the next one, for episode 6, and it was aimed for the top science lesson: rich, mature cougars in your area, because the site I was watching it on had a lot of pop-ups. So that it was just like top science lesson, and then that popped up. I was just like, can you stop? I don't want to know.
Well, I got some things to say about the finale, so I guess
Okay.
I'll just do them off.
I'll
One
start
more.
it.
Okay.
So, obviously, the science stuff talked about either the next episode or the episode before it, but this one actually, this science one talked about the spaceship that's in episode 6. So, the Eltrium does not need Newtonian physics to fly. It doesn't need gas, it doesn't need propulsion, it doesn't need that. It literally has algorithms that alter space-time around it to where it can just move through space. And you know how it drives? It changes physics to fly. You know who drives it? Dolphins and ESP people.
What?
I am not kidding. And there was one scene in episode 6, if y'all remember, where they showed them for just a second. There was just like a dolphin and these dudes in seats. And I if I hadn't known if I hadn't watched the science thing, I would not have known that freaking dolphins, who are known for rape, are driving this complicated system because they have these little brains on them. And it's like, if I hadn't watched that, I wouldn't know this. And it's just so cool that it's like, wow, humans advance so much. Like, yes. And it's just it's cool because then, of course, I watch the science thing and then I watch episode 6, the finale, and it's just like, yes, that's the rape dolphin ship. Yes, yes, they built it. It's fixed. And you can go ahead and start.
Well, on that cheerful note,
Okay.
15-year time skip, baby.
a couple
Oh
things
my
to
God.
say about the finale, or things around the finale.
You
in
loved
general.
it.
From my notes. Okay,
loved
first
it,
thing.
yes.
Remember how her friend was like, "Can you get your connections to help get my daughter off Earth if something happens?" Right?
That's
And then she calls
Pretty
her
much.
friend back, and then the daughter answers. The daughter answers and says that both her parents aren't there. The daughter is less than 3 years old.
she's
Wow.
all by herself.
They
Yeah,
left her
I remember
alone.
that.
What the hell?
Isn't
Like
that episode 5 that when it happened?
maybe, but
it's-
Yeah, that was
it's
episode
a little
5.
mixed.
it's
still
I'm
weird.
around there. It's like
Yeah,
I'm
that's
reading.
That's whenever she was doing her loose.
Yes,
shit.
I'm reading the last of my notes. So I thought that was weird. Like, if there was like a babysitter or something, they would have answered the phone, or she would have handed it to him.
That's kind of weird.
So I
Or
was
maybe
like,
it was a mistranslation. She's actually 5.
even then, that's still too young.
She's still by
Japan.
herself.
It's Japan.
It's Japan. We
well,
leave
no,
our kids
it's
alone.
Japan in the future.
I mean,
what
shit, they
else?
got teenagers riding.
I got
mech
Gunbuster
power-
watching my
Oh,
kid.
it was dumb because there's a part when they're going along, right? The captain's like, "Oh, we're ahead of them by 12 minutes. We're gonna make it."
It was a miracle. We believe in God.
And then, of course, "Oh no, we're not gonna make it."
Oh no!
But the stupid thing is like, "Oh, they can't, defy what we know about them
They
again."
defied what we know about them.
But they did that before in the
I
first
know.
battle. Of
I
like,
know.
why were you surprised?
It was
They were
hilarious.
dumb.
It was
Oh, no.
hilarious.
And then with the thing like, "Oh, it's only at 98%. We need someone to go in there."
And of course, like,
And then he was like concerned about, "Oh, we can't have a person be the fuse to light that thing and sacrifice themselves." And I'm like, "What the hell?
yes, you
What
can.
the hell?
Yes,
You
you
have
totally
had
can.
this giant battle with thousands of ships, with hundreds of thousands of people sacrificing themselves to protect this thing. Thousands of people already died to make this happen.
Yeah.
What the hell is your problem with this one person doing it?"
Oh no!
It was like the
Oh, no.
BS in like the Star Wars, the recent trilogy, when they're like, "Oh, you can't sacrifice yourself," after glorified people sacrificing themselves. So that was like probably not the biggest like thing about it. It was just like that irked me. It was like, what the hell? And you're the military already? You understand things have to be this way?
And then the anime was like, oh no, he's onto us.
Well, I like the fact that Noriko was in space and
With
Amano
Smith.
stayed down with Coach. Coach died, and then of course she goes back into space to do this plan where they have this huge battle, and like these kids. Oh, okay, so when she's on Earth, she mentioned something. I took a picture of it too. It's like, would suicide be a good ending? I just thought that line was funny. And then all of her kids, including Takami, I think Takami, or Kimiko's
daughter.
Is her name Kimiko?
Yeah.
Okay, for some reason it just reminded me of something else. So her class, Amano becomes the new coach, which I thought that was cool. And they give her this origami swan, which she puts in her mech later on, and I thought that was going to get in the way and get them killed. Where she can't see because there's all these origami swans. Fuck, get it out of the way. And that's something I wrote down. Just
you would think they would be flooding around unless you tied it down.
Yeah. But like you see all the this show's all about bigness. So like when they were flying to the center of space, right? I freaked out. We're gonna destroy them monsters with our giant black space butt plug. And just this giant, and apparently it had Jupiter in it. They were able to grab Jupiter. They captured it in that thing and compressed it to 1/30,000th of its size.
So you're saying that
It's crazy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's why it's so weird. It's crazy they can do all these things, but
they can't
in other things, it's like
Coach.
we can't get a cell phone and call someone.
I agree.
Or
What are
have
you gonna
good
say?
You say
healthcare.
butt plug. I say suppository.
Whatever. It's going up the monster's
Well,
anus.
No,
It's going.
suppository can be medical. Blood plugs just for pleasure. There you go.
But that's pretty much it.
But this is the cure for to have the human.
Okay, there you go. That's why it's suppository.
Basically, their whole plan is just they built a bigger black hole and they're going to send it to the middle of the universe. And they even mentioned something that's like, man, should humans be doing this? Should we be destroying everything? Well, it's like if we don't destroy them, they'll destroy us. And it's just like, but should we be doing this? I mean, they're literally
I kinda
destroying
feel
the
like-
entire center of the Milky Way galaxy
Yeah,
by doing that, which probably will screw everything up.
it will. Like, remember how them doing the first one tilted Earth, and that's why some things were destroyed.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Just Australia's on fire.
Literally.
Okay, we'll rebuild it later. We're too busy.
We put all the
blowing
money
black holes
and
out.
effort into the bomb.
Oh,
But it's like,
God.
I'm sure that eventually have repercussions on Earth and the whole galaxy. And I guess the idea was like, well, what if there's someone else beyond us too? Is kind of what he was saying. The guy on the very long tram ride up in space.
That was cool though. It's so cool.
I mean,
I
they
just
were
like how the bully at the beginning ended up becoming old. The old
Yep.
principal.
Yeah.
I'm still a loser. But anyway, like the whole grand finale, they have this. The whole episode's in black and white, by the way.
Which
I don't know.
Yeah. Like you could say they're being.
You know what? It couldn't affect me.
No.
Oh.
Like I said, it
You
would
could say they're
fine.
being artistic, but I kind of feel like maybe they
But
were.
I like the black and white
but
space battle
also
with
they
the
were like,
sketches.
we gotta
I think
do
it's
this
still
a bit quicker, guys.
it still conveyed everything that was going on, and I thought that was great. It's like, yes, even though you didn't pull an Evangelion with it,
I was only happy
it was
because
still visual. It wasn't just reshots of everything. It was just, okay, we're gonna still illustrate this, but in black and white.
Well, and when it was just like the sketches, I didn't mind that too much. 'Cause
I
it would,
didn't.
it would be just redundant. Like we know what's happening. It's like they're defending the ball.
It told the story, and I really liked that.
And I think I thought it was like, I mean, artistic or whatever, but it just felt like at the beginning of the episode, the black and white was very like somber and it's like just showing her on Earth. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but I kind of expected it to stop being black and white. And
I
then
did
it
Me
just
too.
went-
too.
I thought they
I
were
was
gonna
like,
bring color
I
back.
thought like when things started to be like they like flick a switch like red alert and then the
Yeah.
color would come back.
Yeah, right.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I thought it was Kill Bill for a second. And then I thought my phone was messing up, and I was like, man. And I was like, oh, wait, it's just supposed to be a color. It's not supposed to be a color.
To get back to what you were mentioning about just the sacrifice, right? So Gunbuster pretty much has to go into the space bomb and pretty much sacrifice one of its own degeneracy drives to make the implosion happen. And I think the weirdest thing about that scene was when Gunbuster ripped open its chest and she literally ripped her clothes off
Yeah.
and it showed one titty, and I was just like, was that necessary for this? It's like, we're gonna sacrifice.
It's funny. It's funny. The same thing.
You don't wear bras in space, Tanner.
I know, but why
I
did
don't
she
think
have to rip
anyone
her
wears
shirt to
bras
rip
in the
open
anime.
Why did she have to rip her shirt to rip open the robot?
She didn't have to. I think it was just being symbolic. She was like, oh, it's like she became so attached to it, like they were one on one.
No,
She was like,
the animators did that on
I'll
purpose.
do it for you.
It was funny. That was their same reaction when I first watched it with them.
That
It's
was
like,
so
ruined it.
unnecessary.
I
It
wouldn't-
didn't ruin it, but it was just weird.
Like I wouldn't, like I said,
Whack.
she should have had like some
How?
covering.
Whack. But basically, they succeed. Gunbuster succeeds. The thing explodes. You see the entire center of the galaxy. Poof. It's fucking
I like
weird.
how the Russian chick was trying to go in. It was like, you ain't leaving me.
Nope, we're leaving you. Bye.
Yeah.
So
Like-
Amano and Noriko pretty much get sucked in with all that too, but somehow
They live.
12,000 years pass though. 12,000 years. No freaking way. That blew. I freaked when I saw that.
Weed is still illegal?
No, even better. So they're like floating in space, right? It's the very end. And like they see Earth and it's just like, oh my God, humans could be gone. We don't know what happened. And like, of course, my mind just like returned to monkey. It's just like they get back, but
Back the apes?
or something. But like, I wasn't expecting what I saw, which was all the lights and people knowing they came back, which is like, how would you know?
I'm guessing the Soviet chick, like, I mean, they would
know.
they
that
would
they
know.
have
It'd be history. The Russian chick would come back and say, "This is what we got to do," and like,
What if Return to Monkey?
they might have been, but they
That's
had,
true.
and you could tell like
They're just
technology
smart
had
monkeys.
advanced. Like they probably knew they were coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone they knew and loved are dead.
yeah. I'm sure they have like religions about them, and they're basically deities to
Yeah.
people now.
Kochi!
I did kind of like the ending though.
TD
Like,
Kochi!
not kind of. I liked the ending.
I love the ending.
Yeah,
I
I
think
thought
that
it was a good way. to
I'm
end.
so glad there were people waiting for him though, because that
Yeah.
would have been scary.
I thought it was gonna like end sad, where they just kind of like floated and died, but then
Sorry.
it's like no, they ended up back.
that was good that they were able to come back to something.
Yeah.
Come back to something that grand. I pretty much that's all of episode 6 for me, but
That
I've
was-
got 2 things on the science thing since I watched the
What
science
was the
thing.
message that it showed on?
Oh, welcome home.
It was just
Yeah,
welcome
welcome
back,
home.
yeah. And all the lights were turned off because they knew they were coming back.
I guess just
Let's surprise them and see if they're
the
alive.
Soviet girl was like, "Okay, you got to mess with them."
Make them
Sacred-
think
that
they're
everyone's
just
dead.
monkeys.
Here in the sacred text, it says we have to troll.
Monkeys.
But does anybody else have anything to say about the
Yeah,
finale?
I got something to say.
What?
Monkeys.
That made me laugh so hard because it's just the whole planet was dark. So it's just like,
No,
yes,
I
we did it.
was thinking that they're gonna see cars.
wait, like Pixar cars?
No, like JoJo's. JoJo's
Oh,
cars.
I'm sorry. I just,
Oh my God, the world has become Cars world.
Well, no,
Like Cars
oh, yeah.
and Gunbuster are connected. That's where. That's oh my God.
the
That's
Pixar
it.
theory is complete.
They
Oh
just
my
they
God.
just they're. God, they're floating through space and they see Earth and then like see an advertisement. It's like, ciao.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
Oh God.
Didn't it whenever like it go off and they got trapped in it? Didn't it cut back to show her friend back on Earth?
Yeah.
It's like what happened? Like,
Thought
oh,
I heard Noriko.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh my God, on her deathbed.
I'm done with.
No, on her daughter's deathbed.
Oh.
The 2 other things that I like I said, I watched the science stuff, so I feel like
And the
that
dolphins.
that was great though. If I had not seen that, it would not have made as much sense. I would have seen the dolphin and been like, "What the? Okay, science fiction. Let's just have it. It's fine." And they were just floating too, because I guess they have little floaters now. So it's like, but anyway, like the 6th one, it was about just it's called the True Soul System. So it was talking about like some of the planets and like the stars, like the sun that they found was called Nemesis. There's Jupiter too. I thought that one was funny. It's just like couldn't think of anything, so it's like that's just Jupiter. And then Planet Lucifer. I did a spit take because it literally had like 666 on it, and I was just like, "You're kidding me!" Like that's like I think like because she named off all the regular planets, and then like that was like one of the first ones they discovered, and I was just like, I heard that somewhere in a conspiracy theory. I swear to God.
Well, she's like this. There's Earth, Jupiter 2, and Lucifer.
Planet
And
Lucifer,
turns
that's the
out it's
first
all
one.
666. Ding 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 ding.
And of course, in every single one of the science episodes, it's Amano, Noriko, and Coach. And they didn't make Coach into a ghost. and I thought that was sad.
Oh.
He was already dead at that point. They should have made him a ghost. It was a missed opportunity.
No, they should
It just would have been
They
hilarious.
should have put his
tombstone.
sunglasses and his hat on a stick.
I'm just saying, a ghost coach would have just been like, "Oh, it's like, I'm here still."
coach.
But that's all my
Come
notes.
here, Mono. I'll slap you again because I loved you so
Like-
much.
Should we do final thoughts then?
Yes. Final thoughts.
Okay, you go first, Carlos.
Yeah.
Carlos.
me? Because you haven't
Tanner
talked
goes
that much.
first.
Okay, I really, like I said, I really loved it. It was better than Ava for me.
And
So
Dolphins.
I feel like if I had not watched the science stuff, it wouldn't have clicked. It still would have made sense, but it wouldn't have clicked the same way.
No, man.
Just like with the Dolphins?
You just like you just wonder over with the damn Dolphins.
That was a big deal. Okay, so no, it blew me away when they had a ship that could just make black holes. The fact that they even had that technology in the first place just blew my mind. And then it's like, oh, we're gonna capture Jupiter and turn it into. We're gonna compress it 30,000 times its size.
Well, I
That's
mean, they could do it. It's
crazy.
gas.
But how?
It's a gas planet.
That's what I'm saying is that they had the science, and then this ship, the Eltrium, which is like, oh yeah, look up, you can see it, we're building it. Like they reference it in episode 5, and then in episode 6 you see it, but you don't know what it does.
Yeah, and the ship is 43 miles long, by the way.
Floats through space.
Yeah.
Just no propulsion. They don't need gas. They don't need
All right,
the sun. No fossil fuels. It's just dolphins.
Just dolphins.
Well, that's just how they guide it. But it's I just like the principles behind it. Everything's
Do you use
grounded
sonar or what?
in somewhat real science, and I think it's like, oh my gosh,
Do the
this
dolphins
is
go like
this
this?
could be what humanity. Probably. It's like turn left.
Do you go like this? It's all like this in the water.
They weren't in the water. They were just floating.
I know, but I was just saying they're floating and they're like, all right, turn left.
You're good at that. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna come to you if I need dolphin noises.
Okay, Romero, you're next.
Final
Okay.
thoughts.
Or is that
All right,
platypus?
Gunbuster's final thoughts. Let me tell you
Okay,
something.
Tell me something. Is it like
I got
Avengers?
nothing. I'm just
I
kidding.
was gonna say it's like Avengers.
Okay, Brandon, let's
No,
go.
hey. I lost my thought. You go, Brandon. I'll come back. It's coming back. I
Are you
lost.
sure?
I lost it.
Okay. But yeah, I liked it. I agree with Tanner. I liked it better than Evangelion.
Putting a stick on that.
One thing I really liked was the space battles. It was so cool seeing just lasers and things just destroy thousands and hundreds of thousands of enemies and aliens and stuff. You just see little blips of explosions, but you can grasp how many there were out there. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think people should watch it. But yeah, I think that's my final thought. I liked it. It was good.
To bounce off of that, and I think that's what you hit the nail on the head with what the difference between Ava and this is this actually happened out in space. Most of Evangelion happens on Earth, and it just stays there.
Yeah.
Sure, there's stuff in the fringe of Earth and kind of the moon, sort of, but sorry, spoilers for that. I guess.
Yeah. I just realized that too.
But it all happens in space, away from Earth.
Mhm.
This is all a space anime, where, like I said, Ava's on Earth most of the time, which it's nice, but I guess I like the space stuff more. And that's just my preference, because it's just ooh, we've always wanted to do this, and now we're getting to do it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's stuff out there. But that you hit the nail on the head with that.
And I'd like to add, because I didn't see the science stuff, but I definitely want to go back and watch those little bits, because those
it's
sound interesting.
12 minutes
Yeah, that's,
total.
Yeah, that's not bad to go through. So that sounds interesting.
Hey, Carlos?
Don't say coach's best wife.
I know.
Well, it's a little niche, and I looked up a figure of it, and holy shit, I need to take out a loan for 500 to buy a Gunbuster figure.
Well, I figured it would be out of production by now.
Well, it has an
Yeah.
operating degeneracy engine.
Well,
So I really want to know how many people really know about it. That's my question.
That's a good point.
I've heard
They're
rumblings
decent.
of it for a couple
well,
years.
the first time I've heard of it is from this guy,
yeah.
Yeah, you guys were the first that.
and all I know is
informed me of it.
Gynax and Evangelion. That's about it.
Yeah, Evangelion is one of those that's been everybody touts that as.
But
a
the
amazing
I tell
series.
you what,
But you got to watch Grandpa Gunbuster.
Gunbuster got a better opening, man.
Yes,
Oh.
If you can see my face.
different quality openings.
No,
I think
but, like,
they're
I
both
just-
good.
Yeah.
They're different.
I just like okay, like
Different.
mine is just like it's really 80 like for the time.
It's super 80s.
Yes.
The series in general is like, if you want the essence of 80s.
That's it right
Yes.
there.
Because
And
even
I
the
love
moped that coaches writes in the first episode is so 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree.
And then like Evangelion is just like it's a good opening. It's just misleading, man.
Yes.
Okay. Like
Thousands upon thousands of people die in Gunbuster.
Yes.
Yeah, but
And you still have that happy
but
You
it's
have the
okay.
happy opening, so what's the difference?
But you don't see their deaths.
Oh. Okay.
Only Smiths.
Well, to be
Oh,
fair,
you don't
the
even
gun-
see his.
I don't.
He just-
That was stupid. I was
No,
just-
the only death I can remember
is Linda.
Yes.
Linda. Oh yeah. What about? How come we didn't talk about the reaction whenever like she got the gunbusters and she's all like they're like, no, don't sacrifice yourself. No.
But he mentioned that already, I think.
Okay, we need to kind of wrap it up.
Okay.
Carlos.
I really wish I would have known about the dolphin part going in.
Seriously?
First part.
And it wasn't just dolphins; they got freaking psychics, which I guess apparently exists. Okay.
Another reason why this needed to be expanded upon to 24 episodes, because I'm sure they would have like a whole episode about it.
Yeah.
How we would train the dolphins and recruit them. But like,
See, I wish I would have known that, and it would have been funnier to me when I saw his reaction to the dolphin.
but it makes it even better that I've been watching this. I guess this dude James Randi passed away recently, and his whole life was about debunking psychics and people that claim to have abilities. And like, I'm just imagining like him being the one that goes through the process of finding the psychic. It's like, okay, you say you can lift a phone book page with your mind. Here's some styrofoam. Now, try it. And
Bring
he
the confidence.
he couldn't do it because the reason he was able to pull the phone book page was his breath. So if he uses his breath, all the styrofoam will blow.
No, when I was thinking like then he brings a dolphin in. He's like, "Let me show you my secret."
We can teach dolphins how to drive a
Ramiro,
spaceship.
did you have anything else?
No, that was good. That's
Okay,
I like it. That's all I gotta say. Watch it. Watch it.
If you
Even
want
though we
some
spoiled
80s
And
inspired,
don't give it. If you only watch dub, don't give me a complaint. Oh, it's not subbed. Give it
it's
a
not even
chance.
dubbed, is he?
No, just give it a chance. If it's your first time, pop your cherry with Gunbuster. Watch it as sub.
It's like a gummy.
It's
like
a
one
gummy.
of those the little gem gummies where you
Oh.
put it in your mouth and just. It's a burst of
gush?
80s.
A gusher?
A gusher. A Gunbuster gusher. That's what it does. 80s in your mouth.
and don't come with me like I just hate people's excuses with some of these like it's so old, the animation's not good. I'm just
It's
like
6 episodes.
I'm
deal
just
with it.
like 6 episodes.
It's not
It's
like
the
2 hours of
80s.
your life.
Come on. It's like it's not
I
that
don't think I
bad.
did math right.
It's
Yeah.
about 3 hours.
3 hours of your life, folks.
A full 3 hours if
A
they
full
do
3
the
hours.
science one too.
I wouldn't mind binging it as a whole movie. I think
But,
that'd be cool.
But they shaved it down to like an hour and a half.
No, wait, there's a movie?
Yes. There's Gunbuster the movie, but it's just a series that they shaved down. That's all it is.
I want to watch the whole thing in 3 hours, though. I think it'd be cool.
Okay.
I want to
All
like.
right,
edit it
well-
together.
Well, anyway, my final thoughts.
Yes, Matthew, come on.
All right, good night.
Carlos
Well,
is
okay,
gonna
that was
get
the
tough.
Shower Productions anime podcast. Thank you.
No, please tell us enlighten us.
I don't think I have much other to add that I haven't already said. It's pretty good. It's kind of a mainstay of mecha anime, and it's kind of just there in anime fans' minds. And I think you should give it a try if you have the time, because most people have the time for 6 episodes. And yeah, I wouldn't say it's better than Evangelion. Evangelion's better than it for me because it's more of a complete story and
You think it
more
was-
psychological.
How is it more of a complete story? I feel like Gunbuster did more in 6 episodes than they did in the last 2.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but
It's
it's
like, well-
BS that they just dragged.
You don't think that Eva was BS?
It was
They just
better at
dragged?
it.
Oh, come on. Episode 6 had so much visuals.
At least Gunbuster
So you're
didn't
saying
need to
you're
release a
going off the visuals
movie to
instead of
explain the
story
ending.
plots?
No, but the story
Yeah,
plot
it
is
had
let's
to
go
have
kill
little
the
chibi
aliens.
ending science things to explain what
No,
happened.
I'm talking about like having like, oh, let's put this
I
ending
said
out.
it helped. You don't have
you
to
know
have
what, let's
it.
release
Yeah,
the
I was like,
full
I kind
ending.
of understood the fact that it was like Earth moves in a certain way and space doesn't move technically, so time is different.
I mean, I guess you could say that it might not necessarily be for younger kids, because if they don't know all this information, then it's a little bit harder to understand. Then it's just kind of like, oh, fun space battle.
Yeah.
But why is it?
I don't know. I just feel like Evangelion is
saying,
like
it just feels different.
there's Gunbuster was just like standard, and Evangelion was like expanded.
Okay, I feel like the slice of life parts were done. Let's just
For Gunbuster?
Gunbuster, yes.
Well,
I
yeah.
thought that was just like this is super simplified, but that's because they only have 6 episodes.
Yeah.
They can't go any further.
And that's the thing. It's like besides the concept of the time difference in the space, it's a very simple series.
It's like a crustless
more or
sandwich.
less. It's just there's aliens and we got to kill them.
And they
Yeah,
want
but
our
It's
son.
not like in Evangelion. It's more than that.
It's like
but,
It's impending
It's not-
doom in
it's
both,
not like-
technically.
Yeah.
Yes.
it's not like they want the spirit.
But
of
they don't
Longinus.
question themselves. They don't question their own existence. It's just we're humans and they're aliens. We got to destroy them. There's
Well,
nothing more than that.
I think it's because the aliens attacked them,
Yes.
so they want to defend themselves.
Yes, that's the thing. It's
well,
painfully
okay.
simple, and that is Gunbuster.
This is
And
different.
it's not that it's bad because it's that way.
Well, imagine
And
if
it's
the
not
angels
that it's
didn't
not
have
good.
names and they were just called aliens too. Would it be the same series? They didn't have numbers. They just showed up and attacked.
Well, what's the lore for the aliens, Tanner?
They're
In
cellular.
Gunbuster, what's their lore?
They
They're
come from
like
what's the point?
cells. They come from they're like cells where they're trying to take out anything that isn't them, pretty much.
Or
They're
you can-
trying to get rid of the universe of disease. That's how they explained it. Which gives them a lot more than just, well, these things are just nasty amalgams we got to defeat. Where it's like, no, these are more like our own anatomy, kind of. Like we could have come from them, or they came from us, whatever you want to call it. Like it's just, that's it. It's just, I like the fact that they explained it a little more than they had to, because it could have just been, oh, these are just aliens. These are just space monsters. We gotta kill them.
I thought they were
I mean,
giants.
that's essentially still what it is. They
Right,
just-
but they mentioned it, and I like that they mentioned it. That it's like, well, maybe we shouldn't be destroying them because maybe they're here to clean us up, which is more than just, okay, we're gonna shoot the thing, kill it. There's a little bit more of a moral thing about it, I think, where it's just, should we kill them? Should
You're going
we
in
mess
too
with
deep
it?
about it, man.
No,
I think we ran on too long.
All right.
well,
all
we've
right.
been at it for a while, yes, but
Yeah.
like I don't know.
All right.
I just hope that
all I
makes
gotta
my
say
point.
is
No, you suck, and everything you say is wrong.
Evangelion is super deep, but I think Gunbuster can also be just as super deep, and it did.
so
it
you
in
want me to
less
make a
of
whole
time.
lore about these aliens that came out of nowhere and saying that they're the whole
And
almighty
you don't
God?
think
But it's-
Evangelion has so much lore to it that people haven't researched for years?
Or
Coming
theory craft.
soon.
It does.
Yes. It does, and I think
Gunbuster
since it was
versus
created by the same
Evangelion.
people,
All
written
you
by
gotta
the
watch
same
is
people.
Alex Jones explain it. Bro.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Here, you gotta watch Gunbuster, Granddaddy Gunbuster. I'm telling you, these cells, they came in, they took over, and they're just like us.
He's all-
They got raped off.
Okay. On that note, I think we'll sign off and say thank you for watching this long.
I agree with your opinion, though. It's just
No, I hate you.
Could we ask for like recommendations they want to see?
If you have any recommendations for something you want us to review,
Hit it
or
on the Twitter.
put it on our Twitter, the Shower Productions.
I honestly feel at this point we're gonna have to do a Gunbuster versus Evangelion review now.
Nah.
A full thorough
It's-
breakdown.
It's
we broke it
But
down
it's-
right there.
it's
fine.
also like God, it's
And
hard-
Diebuster.
it's hard to.
I need to watch Gunbuster now.
It would be unfair because they have overlap, but they're so different.
Yeah.
It's like trying to compare two
Apples
things
to
that are
oranges.
a bit, yeah.
Hmm.
This is citrus.
So yeah, follow
This
us
is
on the
citrus.
Shower
Does
Productions,
that mean
Shower
Diebuster
Products
said-
Twitter, the Shower Productions Instagram, Shower Productions Facebook page.
Yes.
If you want us to review something, comments or
Tweet at us.
tweet at us, anything you want, if anyone is listening.
We
At the
love
shower.
you.
And vote for who you want to vote off, and we'll sacrifice them to the gods.
No. That's a good idea. You know
Sacrifice
what?
them to the space kaiju.
Vote who you want to not appear in the next podcast.
Oh no!
Well, you see, what might happen is we'll be the only ones, and we'll just vote one of ourselves off.
Well, that's how we're doing it. Well, we'll show up and it was like, yeah, sorry, you can't. You're not in the podcast. Like, oh, that's you guys. I'm off.
All right, I think
But
we've
see,
all
we're
said
doing
our.
this podcast from space, so
Oh.
Earth time, they'll all be dead by the time
This has reached to
by
the.
the time we get it out.
Great, we're out in
4 months.
space with a bunch of guys. Thanks, Tanner.
What a better way to live.
Okay, well, I guess we're signing off then. And I'm Matt.
I'm Tanner.
I'm Ramito.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Carlos.
Gucci.
I'm Coachy Carlos.
All right, peace out.